Welcome back. Now, public safety remains a serious concern in our country. Criminals rob hospitals, schools, churches and people in parks. And in Cape Town, criminals robbed healthcare workers and patients at a hospital in Durbanville. Now, what will it take for crime to be eradicated? Our reporter Nobesuthu Hejana is on the ground and joins us now for more on this story. Nobesuthu, as we come to you, a very warm good morning to you. Crime, again, being a call for concern in the country. Criminals going as far as even robbing hospitals, we understand. Good morning.
Well, morning, Dumelo. You would remember that yesterday the city of Cape Town launched a joint operation with various law enforcement agencies across the city. This is to ensure that tourists as well as locals are safe during the festive season. But there still continues to be those alerts that are released by or issued by respective countries like the US, Germany, as well as the UK, warning their tourists to be on the lookout. And I'm joined by Mr. Walter Fischel, who's a US citizen. He was attacked in Nyanga while he was driving from the airport, making his way to Simonstown, but he made a wrong turn and ended up in Nyanga. He's going to relay his story. Mr. Fischel, thank you so much for your time. One would assume that when your the GPS will give you the directions closer to where you're going or right on the N1, but you were late to Nyanga. Tell us what happened.
Well, the GPS gave me 3 options, and 2 of them were jammed up. They had traffic. So I chose the shorter option, as most people would, unless you know where you're going, and I did not. So I took that route, and that's how I ended up in Nyanga.
Tell us about the incident that led to your injury on your face.
Well, I made a right turn, and then I made a left turn, and then I made a right turn, and I guess that was Nyanga. I've never heard of Nyanga until this week. Started to proceed down the road, and it got a little congested. I noticed that there was a lot of people on the street, a lot of taxis, so I assumed that was a drop-off pickup location, a taxi rank, if I may say correctly. And it just kind of stop-and-go traffic. I actually was going through the motion like everybody else. I was stopped sitting there, and before I knew it, I was shot. No warning, no nothing. I mean, guy came up and just shot me through the glass and into my jaw.
And tell me, what items did they take you? Because obviously at that stage, you're in a state of shock, your adrenaline is running up, and you're confused as to what's happening. Did they take anything from you?
Well, at first, they opened the assailant that shot me was trying to open the windows and the doors. So I was attempting to go after the assailant, thinking he was alone, but when he unlocked the door, other men jumped in there. So at that point, I knew I was outnumbered, and they were going through my pockets, frisking me, and trying to dig out my wallet, my passport, and the car keys. That's all I had on me at that point.
Tell me about your injuries, because being shot in the face is a big deal, and one may think, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose my eyes, or like I'm going to sustain serious injuries. So tell us about the injuries.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised. I mean, I think I got very lucky in an unlucky situation because, I mean, getting shot in the face, usually that results in death. So the angle that they shot me and just the fact of where they shot me probably saved my life. But I was still mobile. I was still functioning. They kicked me out of the car. Then they all jumped in the vehicle, and I had a rucksack in there and 2 little bags that I had used to travel with. I actually went back to the car and tried to retrieve those, got them without them looking, and then they noticed, and then they ran after me and also took those because I had a little cash in there and clothing, which, didn't think they wanted, but apparently they did.
Tell us, I mean, you do say that today you're being discharged from the hospital.
Yes.
And I understand you're going to your friends in Simonstown and you're planning to go to Hermanus. Are you shortening your stay in Cape Town, South Africa due to what has happened? And does this change your perspective of the country, especially with what happened?
I'm not shortening my stay. I still want to visit my friends. In fact, if anything, I'm going to lengthen my stay, and that has to do also with follow-up visits to the doctor. He wants to make sure I don't have any kind of infection or problems after the fact. So I am going to stay here, and I haven't seen these good friends of mine in many years, so I would like to stay. I am leaving in a week, and as far as my feeling of Cape Town, I mean, listen, I didn't expect this in this wonderful city. I know there's bad places everywhere. I'm trying not to let that affect it, but ultimately I know that it will. I mean, I don't think I'm planning to bring my family here anytime soon.
All right, thank you very much. That was Mr. Fischel talking about his experiences. Also, in fact, earlier he was telling me that he would like officials, especially for visitors or people who don't know the country, to at least assist them in sort of like giving advices on which areas not to visit, and also maybe have that information available on Google or any other navigating system so that people don't make the wrong turn like he did. But he does say that Cape Town is still a wonderful place, but is not sure about coming back. But he will try and have or enjoy his stay with his friends.
Well, of course, that is just tragic and disheartening to hear. I can't imagine what was going through his mind when that incident took place. One wrong turn and leading you to hospital on a holiday to visit friends out in Cape Town, Nobesuthu. But of course, we're grateful that he is well. He's been discharged today and he will continue to have his stay in Cape Town just before he treks back to the United States. But thank you so much, Nobesuthu Hejana, bringing the story to the fore as we continue to have our crime focus just on the impact of crime, both on locals as well as international tourists, even in parts of the country such as Cape Town. So we'll continue to have this discussion right here on eNCA and give you more updates.